You have this deal going with Centerpoint just in time for Father's Day. This is a really sweet, sweet opportunity.
Yes. So we're going to be doing a pig roast for Father's Day, and it's a cool package. $55 will get you enough pulled pork for 4 people. We've got collard greens, mac and cheese, sauce, all that kit. And then Centerpoint's throwing in an extra $20 gift card and some fun prizes to go with it. So $55, you get a dinner for Dad and a gift for Dad.
That's
so.
And you could act like you thought of that weeks ago.
Yeah, just don't make sure they weren't watching and they heard me say that. Yeah, exactly.
So how do they just go to the website, or?
Yeah, you can go to our website, either roostersindy.com or centerpointbrewing.com. We're selling them on both platforms.
Awesome. Barbecue.
Yes.
Is not the same as grilling.
Correct.
Thank you.
Yes.
You can go now. No, I'm kidding. I was like,
I'm
it's one of those little pet peeves that I have where people interchange the words, and I'm like, no, they're specifically things.
There is, yeah, no, absolutely. Barbecue is completely different than grilling. Barbecue is the slow and low smoking meat, longer periods of time.
Bigger cuts,
Bigger cuts, yeah, briskets, ribs, pork shoulders, that type of stuff. Grilling, on the other hand, you're going to be more the luxury cuts. You're grilling steaks. You know, you're grilling, seafood. You're grilling burgers. You're grilling, brats.
Shorter time, higher heat.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, now we got that out of the way, there's a lot that go into both of them.
Sure. I know some people on Twitter, they're obsessed, man. They are up. They get up earlier on the weekends than they do for their jobs during the week because they're getting something to go on the smoker.
Yeah. Yep. No, I believe it. Yeah. No. So with grilling, grilling, yeah, that's 2 seconds. That's your propane thing. With barbecuing, though, a lot of science goes into it, especially if you want it to come out right. You want it authentic. There's a lot of tradition that goes with barbecuing. So, we follow that. So I'm going to make like a Kansas City sauce, something really simple. I'm all for making stuff at home versus store-bought because you get to customize it, So
sure.
The typical Kansas City sauce, which is the typical American barbecue sauce that you find, there's mustard sauces like Carolina, there's white sauces, there's all vinegar sauces, there's all different types of barbecue sauces, but the one that everybody knows is like that Kansas City, originated Casey masterpiece.
Right, that tangy,
Yeah, that tangy thing. So that one starts with ketchup, like a lot of ketchup. In fact, that's probably the only application I like ketchup in.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm a Chicago guy. You can't even.
Sure. I know. We won't go there.
So
get a whiff of my dog.
So you start with a bunch of ketchup, and really it's a sweet sauce and tangy. So the sweetness is going to come from brown sugar. So I got a decent amount of brown sugar, about a 1/4 cup, and molasses. And that's like the typical base for any of these Kansas City sauces. Is you go the ketchup, brown sugar, molasses, and then from there you can build on it however you want, and make it to your flavors. I like to use cider vinegar. That's also very traditional. That adds that tang that you're talking about. And cider vinegar, again, is a very typical American type thing that you're going to find in barbecues. Little bit of smoked paprika is usually what I add a little bit of extra smokiness, even though we didn't get enough from the wood. And a little chili powder. Okay. Can't go wrong with some garlic.
No.
Just dump it all in there. And a healthy dose of black pepper. And then just a little bit of salt. There's already salt in the ketchup, so we don't want to over-salt it, but you've got all this sweet, you need something to balance it. And really, you just get this kind of going. And you can go from there. I add a little bit of batch 2 mustard. Their ballpark's great for it. At the restaurant, we even use their whole grain, which adds a little texture in there.
The thing is, it's adaptable. Once you get
it's
the base
totally
of it.
adaptable. Outside of that, you're really ready to go. And this, I'd let it simmer for about 20 minutes because it kind of gets that ketchup flavor out, brings the barbecue in.
Right. Okay. Speaking of, you mentioned the wood earlier, and if you don't get enough smoke from the wood, this is where, there's science and then there's nuance.
Correct.
There's some artistry to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And so there's a lot of different things. It all starts with your charcoal. Now, a lot of people, the old school style, they would use whole logs of usually like oak in Texas, post oak, hickory, things like that. But if you want a little more control, I like to use charcoal to start it off with.
Okay.
I use the natural lump charcoal, the hardwood charcoal here. When I'm doing this, I try and eliminate any chance that there's going to be any type of additives or chemicals that'll be in there. You get pure wood.
Yeah.
Briquettes are great, but be careful when you're buying briquettes because some of the cheaper brands do add compounds that are binding agents.
Okay. Oh.
And so, yeah, they're not the best. You know, you ever seen like that black sootiness? Yeah, that's what you can get from that. But also, when you're lighting them, that's where you can get that kind of chemically flavor too.
Great.
I never use lighter fluid.
Okay.
Typically, what I'll do is I'll use one of these chimneys.
They're not even. I was going to say worth the investment. They're not even much of an investment.
I think this one cost me $15 maybe 15 years ago.
But it gets you. It's consistent and it's quick. And
it is, yeah. And what I'll do is I'll stuff paper in the bottom. I use just like a typical brown paper, untreated if possible, and then I'll layer paper, coals.
Okay.
And instead of lighter fluid, I'll actually use a little bit of oil, like
sure, yeah,
canola oil or whatever you have laying around, whatever's cheap, and that actually acts as a great ignition point. So you'll light that. This concentrates the heat, gives you red hot coals in no time. Now, slow and low, you're going to make sure when you're doing this method is that you're going to keep your coals on one side of the grill, meat on the other.
Right, indirect.
Indirect, totally. And I've got an old barrel smoker that I use at home. Thing's probably 30 years old. I've been using it since high school, actually. It followed me here from Chicago.
Wow, okay.
And what I'll do is I'll put that all the way on one side near the cabinet, and on the other side I'll put my brisket or something. And I typically will use the chips. And I like the chips because I can get the charcoal real hot, and I'll keep the chips soaking in water.
Okay.
And what the chips will do, being that they're soaked in water, they'll actually bring the temperature down while creating smoke.
Okay.
So it allows me to kind of go up and down and connect that. If you're going for something longer, if you've got like the big green egg and you've got a little bit better temperature control than just a metal barrel that I have, I like to use these lump charcoal. They burn a little longer. They produce a little bit better smoke, and you can then reduce the amount of charcoal that you're using and use more wood. So that's always nice. There's also the things like pellet smokers.
Right, exactly.
And
And there's no shortage of applications how people like to do it, right? For anyone that has a smoker or grill has the way they like to do it.
Completely, yeah. And I mean, at the end of the day, like we said, grilling high and fast, barbecuing low and slow.
Or you could go to his website, and have it all done for you and have the best example of it so that when you want to elevate your barbecue game, you know the standard that you're shooting for. Just go to the website, right?
Yeah.
Pick up a
Father's Day pack.
There you go. Pick up a Father's Day pack. Feeds 4, get the gift included. Everybody wins. Hey, it's good to see you.
Good to see you.
Be well. Continue to be well. All right.
Thanks.